Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our witnesses. I'm having trouble rounding this all out because we're talking about food increases across Canada in the grocery stores, but the policies, Mr. Jansen, you just mentioned, P2 plastics, fertilizer reduction, carbon tax, are all policies that the Liberal government have brought in. And I've never heard a government argue so much that the policies that they brought in when they were actually successful. The desired result of a carbon tax is to increase prices on people so they change their behaviour. Every Liberal has stood in the House of Commons and said that. So their carbon tax is working when it comes to food prices. They've increased the food price and changed people's behaviour across our country because they can't afford to eat as much as they did before the carbon tax came into place. So I'd ask Mr. McCann, is that not the point of a carbon tax brought in by this Liberal government to increase prices and change consumer behaviour?
So that is certainly the principle behind a carbon tax, is that you're going to add the cost related to the emissions of a product. That is the intent. I think if you go onto the government's website, that's very similar language to what they use. I think we have this reality where the food system is a source of emissions. Producing food in Canada and around the world represents about 10% of global emissions. There are opportunities to reduce those emissions. I think what you get into a discussion is what's the most effective approach to reducing emissions on farm. We see different approaches in Canada and around the world. And I think that there are other opportunities that someone spoke to earlier as to how you could drive that decarbonization of the food system.